Hey everybody, look quick. That's Izzy, the one who does not like people. See? I just had to do that. Happy Sunday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 324. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. Tonight we have a cool card. I can't do anything easy. I really tried, but this one's got a lot of pieces, so it helps me use up scrap pieces. So that's the reason why I like cards like this. So I'm going to point you down at the table in just a second, and if you get motion sickness or anything like that, look away, and I'll let you know when I am done. I'm messing around with the camera. All right, so hold on. So hopefully everybody had a nice weekend so far. Today is Sunday, and I basically, words are hard. I basically took it easy this weekend. I have been dealing with an injured shoulder from years ago. I fell on it, and at work I kind of re-aggravated it, so it's taking a really long time to heal up. Okay, so let's squish in, and I'm going to move the camera. That's as far as it's going to go. Okay, I think we're good, right? Okay, so again, my name is Joy Borwedge. I have an Instagram page at Stampin' for Joy. My online store is stampinforjoy.stampinup.net. PenguinZ33 at outlook.com is my email address that you can request a catalog. And I have a Facebook page at Stampin' for Joy. And my host code is E2C7X9V, and that's an E. And you can use that host code when you have an order that is under $150. When you have an order that is over $150, do not use that host code so that you can receive those benefits, which is free stuff. All right, so the reason why you want that email address is so that you can get a catalog. If you do not have a demonstrator that you currently work with, and you would like a catalog, email me, because then I would send it to you. Today we are going to play with the Country Woods suite, at least some of the product. And today I do not have this one down at the bottom here, but I do own the Birdhouse. And that is called the Country Birdhouse Bundle. So what that bundle means is that you purchase the stamp set and the dies together in a bundle, and you save 10%. And then we're also going to get to play with the Designer Series paper. And that is as far as I go with this suite tonight. What a suite means is that if you purchased, if you put that number in, that's at the top of the page there, that number means that you get one of everything shown here, including the 10% savings on both. So this is called a mega suite. So that means it has two different stamp sets as well as the dies that coordinate with it. Then also on this page, it's a double pager for ideas of what you can do with this suite. And so I took my cue from that and went a little. I really love it, so it's fun. Okay, so now let me show you what we're going to be playing with. So that means the Country Birdhouse, and it's on page 51, and the dies that coordinate it, so a lot of it's missing, so you could see. Then we're also going to be using the Stylish Shapes dies. Now this is on page 123 in the annual catalog. And we're also going to be using the Timber 3D embossing folder. Now, the embossing folders actually have a nice page where everything is together. but some of the things that you might see in the new catalog might be a little bit more separated. All right, so let's come back to this. Let me show you what the dies do. Let's see here. Okay, so these items in the basic beige color are cut out by the dies. So you stamp them and then they get cut out. Then everything over here is in addition. So you can actually create your own birdhouse. Now today we're actually going to be stamping and adding to that. So it's going to be a beautiful card, a nice mix. And then, let's see, where am I going to set this? I want to be able to find everything once we're done. And then here is the Designer Series paper that we're going to be using. It's called the Country Woods 12x12 Designer Series paper. There is an awful lot of cardstock that coordinates with this pack of Designer Series paper. And then that way you are going to obviously have something of these colors to coordinate. And if not, you can look at the back, or actually online. It doesn't tell you in the catalog what the colors are, all of them. It tells you just a few. But you can also look at the, when you click on the Designer Series paper, it will tell you all the cardstock colors that will coordinate. So if you're missing one, you can always add that to my online store. Now before we start doing that, I want to show you the special that is going. Glad that did not land on my toe. All right, so let me show you the special that's going on for the month of May. So Stampin' Up! Has a special right now that if you join, you get all 5 of these ink pads for free. You get these markers, the in colors, for free. Then you also get the cardstock in all the colors for free. And that's going to be an actual mix pack, okay? So it's going to be that, and then the in color Designer Series paper, which looks like this. So you can see all the colors in all their designs. So if you sign up to be a demonstrator, what happens is you get to choose $125 worth of product, and you only pay $99. Now the product that you see here is an $82 additional free items. So it's a very very great time right now to sign through the end of the month. And if you have any questions on anything, you can also contact me. And this is through just the end of the month. So think about it. And then if your wish list is long, you get some of it free, and it's free shipping included in that. Now you pay tax, but so if you have any questions, let me know and I will help you. Now when I signed up, I did not expect to be doing this. I signed up in 1999, and the reason why I signed up is because I wanted to go to convention, and that was in August of the following year in Minnesota, so it was really cool. Now another thing that's going on is my friends and I are having an event. Leslie, hi, welcome. So this is June 29th. It's at a church, and you will get to make 16 handmade cards, and one of those cards is this. Now this is what they call an easel card, and what happens is you get a baggie, and everything is chopped up, die cut, ready to go. All you have to do is stamp and assemble. Now, there's really not a lot of stamping in this particular one, but This is the one that, this is the Simply Zinnia, and it's an online exclusive, and you can go away with this particular card. Now, who would you send that to? So check out the event, www.thestampinevent.com, and check it out. Registration is now open. Okay, so the card that we are doing today is right here. And I did not originally plan on getting this, but it in a pre-order, we could have chosen that one as a demonstrator. One of the perks is that you get to choose things early, before everybody else, and before things get sold out, and then they have to come back again. So I decided I didn't want this. I wanted something different that's not me. And I chose stuff, and I just kept on looking at it, and I'm like, fine, I'm going to do it. So I did. And this is the first card that I made with it. So we're going to play with that tonight. So if you can look, I'm just going to move you a little bit. I have all the dies and their parts ready to go. So we're going to die cut them. There we go. Okay, let's get back. Okay, so the pieces that you will need, all that is scrap. So everything else here is something that I measured out, and some of it might be scrap too, but this is a piece of that Designer Series paper. It is a 4x3, and that's the back side. Then this is a piece of basic white. This is the inside panel. It's 4.5 by 3 3/4. This is basic beige. It is 5 by 3 3/4. Another piece of basic beige. This is actually a half sheet of cardstock, cut down a little bit. So it's 8 inches by 5 1/4. And then I scored it at 4 inches. Then this piece is petal pink, and it is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I went with the colors that Stampin' Up! Told me that went with the paper. So I chose the petal pink, and we're going to be using Pool Party, and then the basic gray, and the beige in the cardstock. So all this is the cardstock, but we're also going to be using Stampin' Blends. Okay, and the reason why I like to let this sit here for a few seconds is so that if you have the stamp set and the bundle, you can recreate this card. And I am missing one piece, and where did I put it? We are going to be using I have a tendency to put things away when the timber 3D. We're going to be using that as well. Okay, so let's take these all off, and we're going to do some stamping, and then we're going to do some die cutting, and then we're going to be putting together everything. So, oops, I missed one. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to the side because we're not going to do anything with it. This is going to get die cut. This is going to get stamped on. That too. And nothing with that one either. So, let's see. Let's do the stamping first. And I have all these pieces with their parts, because if I were to stick them all in my baggie, then I would not remember what stamps I'm supposed to use with them. So, okay. Whoa, ho, ho. Sorry for the noise on that one. Wow. Okay, so we're going to be using flowers and the flower and the birdie and the greetings. Hello, friend. This is actually going to be a birthday card. We're actually going to use all the greetings in this particular card. So I thought that was kind of fun. Yeah, you thought it was fun too, Bert? Okay, so because we're using the Stampin' Blends, we're going to use the Memento ink pad. And the first thing we're going to do is grab our birdhouse. Now, this is a 4x3 piece. The birdhouse is going to get kind of nicked off the sides here, but that's okay because we're going to have other parts covering it up. And to use your cards or your designer series paper economically, that's one of the reasons why I'm here, is to give you tips and tricks. Okay, so let's stamp up. Okay, let's stamp our birdhouse. Now, because I should be doing this up a little bit further, I keep on moving things further. Okay, so you could see me actually do things. Okay, so we're going to do the birdhouse. And because this is an actual large image, and one of the things I like about this is that this piece right here, it's cut out so that you don't squish too hard and have all that ink messing up your stuff when you squish too much, when you squish too hard. So I like to take my ink pad and tap it so I make sure that I have everything well inked up. And I'm going to line this up and like I said, some of this is not going to, it might not ink up very well. And then I'm going to hold on for just a few seconds and say, life is beautiful, life is beautiful, life is beautiful. We learned from Bonnie a long time ago that you're supposed to say, joy is beautiful, joy is beautiful, joy is beautiful. Not that I feel that today, but so that's where we're at. And it gives you life, you know, affirmations and positive in the morning. So that's what happens when you stamp. So we're going to die cut that. So we're done with that. And then we're going to stamp this. Now I'm going to take the coordinating pieces of the dies and put them on here so that there's a lot of pieces that I could lose. And I do not wish to do that. So as we go, I'm just going to stick them over here so I can't lose them. So this one is going to be the greeting. And it's going to say, hello, friend. So whoever wins this card, hopefully you have a friend that has a birthday coming up. Beautiful. So that's going to go in our die cut spot. And then the birdie. Now we're going to use Stampin' Blends and color these things all up. See, I don't like that too much ink on that side. So actually, because we're going to use the, if you flip it over and use the blends, it's going to fall, it's going to show through. So when you do the blends, you can't flip over. So we're going to get another scrap piece of paper. Ask me how I know, because I've done that. I've tried. The other side turned out really nice, and then it showed right through, and I'm like, dang nabbit. Okay, there's a small part for the birdie. Oops. We'll just leave this over to the side, just in case I need it again, because, you know, this is real life stamping. All right. Equal pressure. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll put the, okay, good. I was like, put the birdie back, but the die is already over there. All right, the flower. I'm moving the flower die over there. This is the one that's kind of a bouquet. Now I could have stamped these and colored them all in, but I'm generally not like that. I want to show you how to do all the steps because, number one, there might be a paper crafter out there that wants to move beyond the casual crafter into more of an avid crafter, and I'm just going to show you really what that is. Because an avid crafter is somebody who kind of has all the stuff. And maybe somebody who has all the stuff hasn't even touched their stuff in a while. So that's why I'm here to show you you can do beautiful things. Okay, so I think I am done with the black. So we're going to close that up and put that away. And now we're going to grab, oops, I lost my embellishments. I have to pick those up because otherwise I could lose my train of thought and not find them later. Okay, so I am going to stamp. The front part's going to say, hello friend, and it says, hope you have the best day ever. Now we're going to do that in Pool Party. Just tap, tap, tap. We're not going to squish. And this fits just perfectly. And we're going to add that right up at the top there. We're going to allow that ink to press into the cardstock. Okay. That to me is just a tad bit crooked. So let me see if I can do that better. And if I can't, then we'll use the other side. There we go. Much better. Now, seeing as how this side over here is the black, we're not putting anything over there. So we can put our flower over here again and not lose it. After we get done stamping that flower, we are going to grab that black again, and then we're going to wash everything. I don't like to leave my inks on my photopolymer if I don't have to, just because I like to not have as much staining go on as it does with the photopolymer. Okay. So Leslie, how you doing? Happy Mother's Day. I am not a mom, but I do have kitty cats, so that's as good as I'm going to get. And I have a husband. All right, so this is going to say happy birthday. And again, we're just going to leave that sit there. Perfect. Okay, so now that we're done stamping, we're going to do a mass cleaning. I'm going to take out my Simply Chamois, and my Simply Chamois is in quarters. And I just, because I have a cat, or I had a cat actually, who liked chewing on rubber. And he would basically, when I moved out of my craft, when I moved from my house to an apartment, we never found the parts that Lewis took. So I sure hope he didn't eat them. Okay. All right, so this is the big one, so I'm just going to kind of hold it, get the top part, and then get the middle part. And it is all clean. Cool. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to die cut we're going to die cut the pieces that do not get coloring, okay? And then we're going to take a break and we're going to color, and then we're going to die cut those. So just because I'm not going to get everything on the same pass, I might as well just do a little bit here and a little bit there. Okay, so this here is Lost Lagoon. Now, because Lost Lagoon is not listed on the Designer Series paper, I took my Pool Party and I said, what would be a color that is kind of, so here's my Stampin' Blends. Okay, so let's just move that for a second like that. So I looked and I said, okay, Pool Party looks really good with Lost Lagoon. So that's what I did. Oh my goodness, my phone is calling. I'm sorry. I never have anybody call me. All right, so I will have to get back to them after we are done. Oh man. What's going on? She doesn't call me unless there's something bad kind of going on. A friend of mine. I hope she's okay. This one right here, please just keep it. It's a runaway die. So that little bugger likes to run away, let me tell you. Okay, so this piece right here goes like that. And this piece goes like that. Now I'm going to try to make it so that these do not go, they have to go through, anything that has a straight edge has to go at a diagonal. And that, the reason why is, number one, you will not hear the clunk, clunk, clunk of your rollers. And it gives you the best, it's not as harsh on the rollers when you put them at a diagonal. See, you only heard one little crack, and that moved. It moved the. Whoa! All right, so we're just going to take everything off and put that back in the spot for the dies. Because if you don't have a spot for where your dies go, and then also just want to let you know that this here is from the Nested Essentials. Even though there is a circle that cuts out that bird hole, I stamped it and it doesn't color it or cover it the whole piece. This is part of the house, so we're just going to take that out. Birdhouse. So is that. So you either want your Tombow glue. You could probably also use the adhesive sheets. This one. Okay. This piece I'm not going to use because when it sits in the birdhouse hole, it's smaller. It doesn't cover, it doesn't, and besides, that bird is not going through that hole. So, for me, logistically, I'm not using it. So here is the one that cuts perfectly with the, and that's basic gray, but that little tiny hole we are using. That's the reason why we're using that in the first place. So we're just going to pop that out with the people poker, and it's stuck to my fingernail, so we're just going to put these all in one spot, so then that way I don't lose anything. And this is the bow. You can either have your birdhouse hanging, or you can have it sitting on a pole. It's your choice, and I love that Stampin' Up! Gave us 2 different ways to do that. All right, I'm going to take that out, save this, and then all the leaves. I love that the scalloped piece comes out so easily. And all the holes, I don't even know where the holes went. I mean, it cut it, but it doesn't cut the holes. So I'm dumbfounded. So the leaves, now you get one leaf that's kind of a chunky leaf, and then you get 2 leaves that are skinny and they go the opposite way, and then you get you get 1 leaf, well actually 1 stem with 2 leaves. Hi Carolyn, welcome. You haven't missed really anything. Say hi to Leslie, she's here too. Okay, so that goes for, might as well cut the birdhouse right now too. The other parts we have to color, and then we're going to cut them out. So like I said, when we cut the birdhouse out, we're going to be missing some points, but it's going to be covered up by the cardstock that we cut out, because I did that specifically so then that way we can keep the 4x3 designer series paper, and you can make more houses. That's what I'm trying to show. Okay. And if you want, you can keep these corners, you know, for doing something. I'm not. I mean, I guess I could. Can always do some type of, I don't know. But see, there's like a little tiny corner there and a little tiny corner there that I whacked off. And there's a little tiny bit at the tip and a little tiny bit down here. So the reason why we did that was because we're going to be covering them up with the build-a-parts. Okay, so now we're going to color, and then we're going to come back and cut out the parts that we're coloring. Okay, so we'll just set this off to the side. And I'm just going to sit down. So what I did is I swatched, and what that means is I took, this idea is from Patty Bennett. I'm going to sit down now. Happy Sunday to you as well, my dear. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to color. Now, I already took one and I stamped it and cut it out already. We're going to cut these all out, but we're going to color first. And then, so like I said, first what I did is I swatched everything. I originally did the bird. I did the bird's feet and beak in pecan pie, but then I decided to use basic gray here, and so I'm going to use basic gray for the bird's nose or beak and feet, and then that will kind of go together. Okay, so let's get going. So like I said, this is the idea of swatching. I saw this on Patty Bennett, and what I do is I started out with these three colors, and then I decided I'm going to add the gray, so I cut off the pecan pie, and then I added the Lost Lagoon because I needed a green. I did the blue for the pool party, and then I needed a darker green for the leaves. I didn't want to use the same one. So what I do is I have all the nib tips at the top and all the brush tips down at the bottom. And I wanted to see which ones are darker, because if you look at this, let's see, let's pick out an odd one. This one here is the light. This one here is the dark. So the left side is always the light, left LL, and then the right side is the dark. So this one here is the light, okay? But if you look at the colors here, for me, because I'm seeing it, the light nib tip is darker than any of the colors. And sometimes your nib tips are darker than your brushes. Sometimes your brushes are darker than your nib tips. So that's the reason why I like to do this, because I like to see what color I am getting. Okay, so first of all, we are going to, I have to look at my sample because I don't want to do it wrong. Okay, so for the flowers, we're going to do these two flowers first. We're not going to color this, so we might as well put that back, but we do need to die cut it. Okay, so we're going to do the two flowers. So what I did is I took the darkest one. Let's put these so you could see them. So for me, that is the light nib tip. So I am going to color. Am I in shot. I'm gonna stand up so I can see if I'm in screen coloring. Okay, I think I am, right? Now I'm gonna move this up a little bit more. Okay, and okay, so I think now you can see that. Okay, so I'm just gonna nib tip it in the middle. And why does it seem like it's all of a sudden dry? Well then, let's see if we could darken it up a little bit. Okay, and then, so we're gonna take the light, and I am going to use the dark nib tip, or the brush tip. Okay. That to me does not look like, so what are we gonna do? Well, let's see, I'm just gonna do a little bit of Calypso Coral, and we'll do that light, because I want it just a tad bit darker on the outside edges. There we go, I like that. Okay, now we're gonna go back in, and excuse my reach, but that's what happens when something doesn't work right like it's supposed to, because, you know, I did this already, and it worked out just fine. Okay, so we're blending that all in, and we are going to do the nib tip, and the lightest color of the nibs is the dark, and we're going to actually just dot the center. Okay, and then we're going to go in, and we're just going to put a little bit of color in there. All right, and then we are going to do the lightest color, which happens to be the dark brush. Nope, dark nib. That looks really dark. You know, I did this earlier and in order. So, and I have them. There we go, that's pretty light. We can also use the color lifter. Okay, just blend those in so you don't see the lines. Okay, those look awfully dark. Don't like that. Okay, and then we are going to go over here and do these tulips. I think they look like tulips, right? Okay, so let's go back in and do the darker color. In the center. Okay. And then just blend that in. All right, so then we're going to take a little bit of the blue and we're just going to let that bleed in. And then I'm going to take the color lifter and kind of lighten up these a little bit. Okay, so this is Basic Gray, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Misty Moonlight, and Lost Lagoon. I kind of think I forgot to say that, so that's what we got. All right, so the Lost Lagoon, let's see. I want to use the nib tip. I don't want to go too dark, but I just want to highlight a little bit of it. And then when we get to the little leaves, I'm just going to do one. Color. There's really not a lot of shading area there. Oops, I got to get this one too. Okay, so then now we're going to go back in with the brush of the light, and we'll just kind of blend that in. Again, it's really not a lot of space to get lowlights and highlights, but I'm trying. Okay, I think those look pretty. Okay, so let's do the birdie. Okay, so the birdie, we have to die cut these, so we're going to put that in the die cut pile. Okay, that one we're done with. Okay, so the birdie. And what I did was I wrote it down and then I think I threw it away. So I think I did just the pool party. And so this is the light. And this is the dark. So the darkest one is the lightest brush. Okay. You know what I think happened? Is I was looking at them upside down. That's the reason why my colors look darker than they normally do. Gosh darn it. Next time I will put this way up. Oh my goodness, joy, joy, joy. Okay, so that's the reason why they were just not... Okay, so we got the dark nib, and so we're just gonna hit the birdie's wings, and on his head, and on his belly. All right, make sure you hear that snap when you put that away. And then we're going to go with the light brush. And we're just going to blend that in. Can't believe I did that. Yes, I can. Sounds like I might need to invest in some more colorings. I think these guys might be getting used up. Okay, I'm going to go back in with a little bit more dark. Okay, and then we'll do that again. Oops, wrong one. I meant to do brush. What a cute little birdie. Okay, now we're going to do its footsies and its beak, and so we are going to do the nib tip. There we go. I can't color in my light, so I can't see where it... There we go. Okay. So what do you think? Isn't that a cute little birdie? Okay, so I'm going to stand up and Carolyn. All right, let's get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine back out. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the parts out. And then this one's already cut out, so that's good. And then we have to cut out the we have to do the timber embossing folder. So get these in their specific spots. Okay. And we're going to use Post-it notes to hold things in place. Now you could certainly go as over the top with this birdhouse. It gives you the opportunity, boy. Like I said, words are hard. It gives you the opportunity to just be casual, or then we have the opportunity to just go way over the top. So it's however you want to go. It has the ability to be easy, quick and easy, which I have a really hard time doing because I don't know how. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, I really, really have to work hard to tone things down. It's just my nature. Okay, so we have enough of those all set out, so let's put that through. Just one pass should be fine. And all those little crinking sounds, cracking sounds, those are, the first time I ever heard that, I thought I was breaking it, and come to find out, no, that's normal. Okay, fine. But, like I said, anything that has a straight line, you don't want to put it through like that. But I did say that there's a lot of pieces to this, and those pieces are fun. I really enjoy it. Like the Simply Zinnia. There's nothing simple about it, except for it might grow simply. So that's the reason why they probably named it that. Okay, so when we are doing an embossing folder, we take off the platform, number 2 platform, and the cutting plates. Now we are going to use the number 4. So I'm going to get that. And so all we need is 1 and 4. All right, so sorry about that. Got a little tickle. So we're going to decide how we want this. I want my veins to be vertical in my tree. So I am just going to put this in here. I'm going to line that straight up so my tree doesn't come diagonal, because you could see the veins going in the tree. You can also do it like this, but when you put it through the embossing folder, you want the hinge side to go in first. So either you have your veins going horizontally or vertically, and it's up to you. So just make sure you put your paper in the correct way. So I want mine vertically, so I am going to put my paper in like this. And then we just put this number 4 plate on top and crank that through. And we are done with the platform and number 2. And I just love that embossing folder. Okay, so we're just going to put this away. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I think we need to assemble everything. So I have all my bits and pieces over here, and I'm just going to kind of slide them down and dump them. Make sure you do not lose that little tiny spot that likes to stay upside down. Okay, we got the flowers and the birdie. Okay, all colored up. We are going to decorate the birdhouse first, and then put the card together. So I'm just setting everything out so we could see where it's sitting. And then we're also going to get the silicone mat out, just because we're going to be playing with glue. And I like to keep all my bits and pieces that are small on here to glue, so then that way I don't get glue everywhere on here. And that is part of the house. Okay, so our house is right here. Let's see, I'm trying to move that up again, I guess. Maybe I could just move this whole thing. There we go. That works. Okay. I think that works. All right. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue this part right up here. So I'm actually just going to use my liquid Tombow glue, and I'm just going to put a small, it's going to make sure it comes out small stream, and I'm going to lay that down nicely. Alright, so we're going to put that at the top there. Okay, and then move that. Alright, so the next piece, so I'm going to line it up right here. And I'm going to put that right up next to that and just slide that in. Okay, then this piece is going to go right on top. And just very thin. And then okay, so then just right on top there. Oops. Go right in that spot and move down. Okay, so just going to trim that little piece underneath it so that we won't see it. Oops. There we go. Just a little trim. Nobody will even know. Okay, so now we're just going to put a little bit of glue in here. That's just going to fill up the circle. This for me fills it better than the other piece that we threw away because it shows the black circle, and I don't wish to see that. So that's my only reasoning for cutting that out. And then we're going to put a little tiny dot. We're missing the gray piece. Okay, so we have the bigger gray piece. Which one is this? This one's the small one, so where did the big one go? I knew I was missing something. Did it fall on the floor? Alright. I don't know where it went. That is okay. We'll probably find it underneath something. Or, no. We can cut another piece. That'll be very quick. Right in there. So, I shall be right back. Really helps if you have platform number 1 on there. That is what I was missing. I'm like, okay, now there we go. So I got my die and I put that back. And then that, just a tiny dot right there. I'm going to use my take your pick tool to grab that little circle, and we're going to put that right on the top there. Okay, I like that. Then a little bit of glue. You know, I swear I am missing something, because did I not do the base of the birdhouse? There it is. I'm like, I know I did it. Gosh darn it. And this is just going to hang out right down here. And we might have to trim a little bit off. There we go. That goes perfect. Now this is Misty Moonlight. Is it? No. That's why it's looking funky to me. Okay. We need Misty Moonlight, and this is actually Night of Navy. So we're going to go get 2 pieces and do them again. They're in the same color collection. It's not like anybody has anything else to do tonight, right? Besides Joy recut stuff. Oh, there we go. See, it's the lighter blue. Let's see, I don't have any big ones, so we'll just use this one. And just boom, right on top. That's how it rolls. All right, so I shall be back again. So thank you for your patience. This is how real life crafting works sometimes. Well then, my piece moved, so there's a little piece off of that one, so let's see if this one worked. Yay, this one worked. So we can throw that one back. Grr. I feel sorry for anybody who's new to me, ever coming back to watch this. This is not usually how it goes. All the time. Sometimes, yes. Alright, so we're going to cover up that bottom of the birdhouse in misty moonlight. And we're going to snip off that piece. And then now we're going to cover up the Night of Navy. This is how you not put your birdhouse together. There. Nobody is even going to know, except for Carolyn and whoever watches this show, the replay. If I can get it on there. Okay. It's going to be a very well-loved birdhouse. And we're just going to snip off the piece back there, because then you won't see it. And this piece right here. Okay. Much better, it says. Okay, so then now, and I see a little tiny bit of back here designer series paper, so I just want to snip that off. Now we're back at the house. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put our inside in. We'll put the glue back with the lid on it just for a moment. And we're going to put adhesive on the back side using our Stampin' Seal. Right side up. And then we're going to put that on our pink, our petal pink. All right. All right. So we're going to go just like this all the way around and give that a nice border. So the reason why I like to do this is so that when you open the card, you get to see that pretty pink on the inside as well. Now we are going to take the adhesive and put it on our 3D piece. Now we're going to take it adhesive and put it all the way around, because we want to make sure that it stays put. Because when you use an embossing folder, you generally have some type of bowing happening. And so we just want to make sure we got it really good. Okay, so we're going to put this, we're going to do a little tone on tone. And we're going to start with one side and then work our way down. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that cool? All right, then the house is going to go on here. And again, we are going to do it really well, because we want to make sure that we have it want to make sure I have enough space. And then we're going to put that on there like that. Okay. And then we are going to take our friend and we're going to snip it. Now I want a flat, nice flat surface. So I'm going to put this up. I could have done this free-handed, but I would have not cut it straight. I am not that good. Okay, so now we're going to take that bow and put a little bit of glue on there. So we're going to start out in the center, put the glue on it, and then just kind of a little bit up at the top there. Okay, and now we're going to put that bow right there, right at the top of the house, and then we're going to build our flowers. Okay, so we're going to take and I'm actually going to just use for these guys, I'm going to use the seal. And then I'm going to take one of the leaves and put it down like that. Okay. And then where'd our other tulip go? See, I lose things sitting right in front of me. Oh, it's sitting upside down. Gosh darn it. Oh man, somebody needs a nap. Okay, and you know, I did another leaf and I'm just wondering where it went. Okay. And then this leaf, okay, we're going to put this one kind of going out like that, and this one kind of jetting out like that, and then we're going to stick that within the cardstock, so it's not going to be in the card, or out of the card. And then I had one more leaf. I think maybe when I moved my mat, nope. Okay. I want another leaf. So, here we go, back. I'm just going to cut another leaf, and I shall be back again. Because like when you have embellishments, you want to have odd numbers. So for me, having 2 fling out there, I don't want that. But I also am going to snip off that stem off of that one and going to stick. Actually, I'm just going to put a little glue down there. So glad that did not land on my card, but just the glass mat. The glass mat is Good to go. All right, so we're going to put that back, and then now we are going to put dimensionals behind the little birdie, and we are going to use a big one right up here, and then we are going to use a little, I'm going to use the end of the mini because that gives it, it's a skinnier option for the tail. Perfect. Okay, so then I'm going to use my, take your pick tool, stab and grab those backings, and they just don't end up all over your table. And here goes the little birdie. Right. I don't want to cover up too much of my flower. So there we go. Okay, so now we are done with that. We're going to put the dimensionals on. Might as well just use one of these pieces. Actually, I can use that whole piece. That works perfectly for that. Again, stab and grab that backing, take that off, and we are going to line that up right there. Perfect placement. Okay. Now we're not done. We're almost done. We are going to use the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. These are in the annual catalog. They are on page 113, I think it is. Embellishments. Embellishments are in the back. Embossing folders, color theory. There we go. 315. There we go. They're on page 315 in the new annual catalog, and they carried over. I'm so glad that they made the embellishments bigger so you can see them better. So we're going to add some Wink of Stella to the flowers. And go to the inside. Okay, and then we're going to just slide it off, and then we're going to do the wings of the bird and the tail feathers, and then we're going to do the leaves, kind of like the veins where the leaves are, and then we're going to do the blue, and then we'll do the blue. And then we'll do the greens on this one. And then the greens. All right, so now we're done with the Wink of Stella. And then we're going to take, okay, so then we're going to take the People Poker, put that to bed, and grab the putty. So the putty, we are going to use the Tinsel Gem pack. And I wrote, they are Misty Moonlight, Fresh Freesia, and Lost Lagoon. So I think we're going to go with the Misty Moonlight. And we're going to, first of all, put that in the middle of the flower. And then we are going to put that right there. And the last one, oops, flip over. We are going to put it on the tag. And there we have it. So what do you think of tonight's project? If you like this card and enjoyed the video, sharing is caring, so that will get you 2 ways to get entered into the drawing. If you leave a comment, all you have to do is say hi. That will get you into the drawing. And then if you like, so if you do a thumbs up or a heart, you will also get entered into the drawing. So I am going to the post office tomorrow, and I got caught up. So Carolyn, pay attention to your mailbox. You got Happy Mail coming. And I want to say thank you very much for hanging out with me on a Sunday afternoon with this cute little birdie. Evening, I should say. Evening. It's not an afternoon. So thank you very much for hanging out with me on a Sunday evening. And I hope you have a great week, hopefully. If I am not working too much overtime this week, I'll be able to come back on Thursday after 5 o'clock. And if not, I will maybe come back next weekend, for sure on Sunday. And I hope you have a good week if I don't see you on Thursday. And happy stamping!